And here we are, it is day 3 of Pauper January, which means we are looking at another Pauper Commander deck, and this one is Mardu, but it's Reanimator instead of Combat. So black and white have a lot of reanimation spells in Pauper, so I decided to put them all together, make a Mardu deck, and run with it. The commander we're playing, I think this is the only one that actually has a Mardu color identity, which is why we're playing it, not because of any other way. Its effect pretty much whenever it attacks, and target creature can't block this turn, which is pretty irrelevant. We're pretty much playing it solely for the color combinations, with our actual cards being in the 99. Alright, so let's go into the actual list itself. We'll go over our lands, which are pretty much playing all the gates and the thriving lands because they're just good for mana fixing, so we can add the mana we need whenever we need it. And then I have the bit of like the dual lands, like the garrisons, like the bounce lands that tap for 2, command tower, obviously Evolving Wild, and Metamorphic Expanse to kind of search out some stuff. Silver Campus because it helps with scry, stuff like that. Bridges too, just pretty much a lot of just kind of basic dual lands, nothing really too interesting to go over here. And then we have some spells that are easy to cast because of what's in our graveyard, or by dumping stuff in our graveyard, they make them cheaper. So Gumag Angler is one we can cast for just 1 black mana because it has Delve, so we can just exile 5 cards out of our graveyard, especially ones we don't need anymore, like draw cards, and get it out very easily. Molten Monstrosity is discounted by however big our biggest power is, and since we're playing Reanimation, it is very easy to get this out very easily because a lot of creatures have big attack. Sultai Scavenger, just another Delve card that does have flying, pretty nice. It's just a 3/3 vanilla flyer, but it's still good enough for us to be playing. And then one Withering Necromancer, which just costs 1 less for each creature in your graveyard, and since we're dumping a bunch of creatures in our graveyard, it's just another card we can cast very easily. And because we are playing Reanimation, we need ways to get our Reanimation cards back into our hands so we can reanimate with them again. So we're playing 3 different Recyclers. We have Anarchist, which just enters the battlefield, we turn a target sorcery, which all of our Reanimation cards are. Ardent Elementalist, which is pretty much the same thing, but can also bang back some instant cards. And in Revolutionist, ETBs return target into sorcery, and it does have madness, and we are playing some discard cards, we can get it off for its madness cost relatively easily. And then because we do need to reanimate, we're playing some tutor cards, which tutoring in Pauper Commander is pretty much solely transmute, and that's not stuff like Grim Tutor, Demonic Tutor, or anything like that. But we have transmute to let us pretty much search out forever what we need. So different house cards lets us search out for any 4-drop, Shred Memory, any 2-drop, and Sojourner's Companion searches out our artifact lands, and since we're playing the dual artifact lands, can help us color fix. 1 board wipe Crypt Rats pretty much goes in every single black deck because it's one of the only ways to have a board wipe in Pauper, plus it burns at the game closer. It's just a very powerful card all around. Let's go over to the Venture package. So we're all playing Venture because we're going to be playing Initiative, because ways for Initiative in the last dungeon you can cheat out stuff, so we're putting some Initiative payoffs, which are also just decent reanimation targets. Goliath Paladin, take the Initiative ETBs. Planet Ally, one of the attacks you Venture. String Bard, ETBs, Initiative, same with Trailblazer Torch, Underdark City Explorer, and Vicious Battle Raider. And then Yuan T Flameblade, I think I said that right, just deals combat damage, enter into the dungeon. And let's look up ways we are setting up our graveyard. We have big score. Pretty much all the ones we're playing are discard cards, the draw cards, so we set up our graveyard and we get more cards in our hand. That's one of them. Same with Bitter Reunion. Blood Token makes us a Blood Token, which gives us access to a free cycle. And plus we can sack it to put 2 creatures back into our hand, so if they get destroyed or we want to recycle stuff like Anarchist or Ardent Elementalist, we can do that. Thought Reunion is another discard draw. Same with Electric Revolution, Faithless Looting. Goblin Pick is a creature that we can always loot just on the battlefield, pay a red, tap, discard, draw a card. Same with Julum's Tome, but it's colorless, but it needs 2 to tap it, draw a card, discard a card. Pirate's Pillage, just pretty much a worse big score because it's a sorcery, but still good enough. Rummaging Goblin is pretty much a loot for free, we just tap it to discard and draw a card. Seize the Spores on the discard draw, same with Thrill Possibility and Thrilling Discovery. Tormenting Voice as well, and Unexpected Windfall as well. Most of them are on instant speed, so we can keep mana up just to kind of bluff having removal and stuff like that. Also, just having instant speed, being able to do it while being efficient with mana is very nice. Speaking of mana, let's go over the mana box real fast before we get to the fun reanimation part. Arcane Signet, Bonner's Ornament, pretty basic Commander Sphere, pretty much the ones that can tap for any color. We're playing a Boros Signet, a Mardu Banner, which is actually a tricolor Mana Hawk, which I was actually very surprised when I saw it. It's at common rarity. Also just very good. It's pretty much a Clue Stone, but for Mardu. Mind Stone, just to pretty much colorless ramp for 2 mana. Orzhov Signet, pretty much all the 3 signets to tap for all the colors we need. And then 1 Border Post, just because we do need a lot of mana, so having access to more mana box are good, especially ones we can get out for just 1 mana. Alright, now let's look at the reanimation cards that are going to be used to reanimate. We have Breath of Life, which is just, you just put any creature from your discard into the battlefield. Exhume, which is the one Pauper Reanimator decks playing regular Pauper, just everyone puts 1 creature card onto the battlefield for just 2 mana. False Defeat. Now this card is pretty expensive. It's $25. You could get away with not playing it if you want to keep things budget, but it's still very good because it's just a blanket reanimation target. Late to Dinner, another, just put a creature on the battlefield, and you get a food token as an added bonus. Resurrection, just another blanket reanimation for just 4 mana. Rise Again costs 5, but you put any creature from your graveyard onto the battlefield. Still the Grave is a little worse. It's 1 black and an X, but you have to pay X, which is the converted mana cost of the creature in the graveyard, so it's not as good. It's definitely a lot weaker. More often you're going to want to be using it for like the recyclers, but you can always use it in a pinch. And in Summon Undead, you have to mill 3 cards and then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you get a mill, so you could hit a really powerful reanimation target with this on your mill, or you can just use it when you already have a creature in your graveyard you know you want to bring back. And then we have the big reanimation targets. Eldrazi's, of course, the common Eldrazi's are all very good for the format. 8-9 trample you can get for like 2 mana out is very powerful. Welcome with Celebrants, just a 4/4 with Menace, ETPs, you get 2 blood tokens, so you can use those blood tokens to cycle to get more cards into your graveyard to reanimate. Coding Recluse, just a pretty generically good card, plus it has madness too, so since we're discarding so much, we can cast it for 2 mana pretty easily, and if it's ever blocked, it becomes blocked by a non-black creature, it just blanket gets destroyed, which is very good. Going Warplow, which is pretty much a 5/4 Death Touch, it's a little weak, but we can also prototype it if we want. Guardian Naga, just a very nice 5/6 Vigilance that can't be hurt by any damage during your turn. Hand of Emrakul comes with Annihilator 1, and you can also sacrifice 4 Eldrazi spawn tokens, which you don't have a way to make in this deck, so it's pretty irrelevant. But a 7 with Annihilator 1 is very good. Herald of Hadar, one of the weaker ones, but pretty much you have access to a constant life button and sometimes life gain, and if you're really lucky you can even get ramp with it. Harasu, just another good card, which pretty much whenever a creature becomes blocked, each blocking creature gets -1/-10, so it's a way to kind of force chump blockers to not be able to chump block, otherwise they'll just get destroyed for no payoff. Plus you can also use it at its instant sorcery speed, which pretty much essentially does the same thing. Morokit Behemoth, by reanimating it we avoid the extra cost having to pay the extra mana or sacrifice creature, and we get a 7/6 menace for our trouble. Ruin Processor, another Eldrazi, when we cast it, it's pretty irrelevant, but it's just a 7/8, which is a very big booty. Storm Quick Patrol, whenever it deals down bad damage, you just get a 1/1 counter, and something at 4/3, that's pretty good. If you can get out early, you can go to really ridiculous levels. Stonecrown Hunters, which is very good. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to any target, so pretty much anything that blocks it, it lightning bolts, which is very good. Tabaxi Tuscaneers, just a 3/2 of Myriad. It's very good. Myriad's very good, especially since you're playing with like initiative and stuff. And it has 3/2 flying. A 3/2 flyer going into everyone is very good. Even if one blocks it, other ones can get through and get you the initiative back. Same with Team Match Fanatics. It's another thing with Myriad, which is just very good, especially in Commander. And then lastly, the star of regular Pauper Reanimator, Ulamog's Crusher, just an 8/8 with Annihilator 2. It has to attack each combat, but that's not really an issue when it's an 8/8. And every time it attacks, it makes whoever it's attacking make them sacrifice 2 permanents. And that is the deck. It is very interesting. I do like Reanimator a lot. It's one of my favorite decks in regular Pauper, and I wanted to translate that to Pauper Commander, and I think adding in the white and the red for this card and more reanimation spells definitely makes it pay off in dividends. There's a lot of very cool things you can do, a lot of early cheats. You can cheat out games really early, especially if you get like the Myriad cards out early and you just swing in for a bunch of people before they can even get the really any of the spells out. Anyways, that is the deck. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more of Pauper January. We're going to be doing this every day in January, so make sure you stick around for that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.